Hey everyone, it's Tania and welcome to a video that is very anticipated. In this video, I will be sharing the common application that I used and wrote to get into my dream school and some other great universities. So a lot of this essay is really personal and I'm not really comfortable sharing it because it's personal, but I think that really gives me an opportunity to kind of talk through the essay as I read parts of it, because I really think it gives a perspective on how the writing process goes and the process that I had thinking about typing my essay and telling the story of my life in 650 words. Without further ado, I have my laptop in front of me and let's go ahead and get into the video. So before I started writing this final version of the essay, I had gone through so many times trying to get the perfect essay for me. And what that entailed was starting completely over, editing the ones I had already trashed and trying to salvage bits and pieces of them and put them together, but that just didn't work. What my final result was something that was very me. The other ones, I thought maybe they didn't just have the true authentic voice that I wanted to portray. I think the final result that I have in front of me is really me. It's really my personality showing through the paper, and maybe you can learn a little bit more about me through this essay. Well, I will be reading most of it. Some of it I'm just going to go talk about because it's personal. I did the first prompt of the Common App essay. I'll link that down in the description. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's August. I'm filming this on August 1st and it's the first day that the Common Application is open. So I'll link the Common Application down below and you can see the prompts and everything like that. My intro paragraph starts like this. I am thoroughly convinced that I'm an X-Men. Although I know that I am not applying to Charles Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, maybe I belong somewhere just as extraordinary. This realization developed when I, inadvertently, in the span of 3 weeks, burned out 3 light bulbs by simply flipping the switch. Once, that's normal. Twice, a coincidence. Thrice, coincidence? I think not. However, being an X-Man is more than the power to manipulate electrical charges. With that said, welcome to the chronicles of my life. So as you see, I use X-Men, and that's one of the themes that I put throughout my paper. So each little, what is this called? Wow. Paragraph is a section of my life. I start from being a young person and to one event that really shaped my perspective on the world, and then how that led me into pursuing other endeavors. And then each one I formatted like a comic book because I use X-Men in my introduction and conclusion to kind of frame the story. So each paragraph is titled with a volume number and an issue number and a title, starting with this one. Volume 1, Issue 3, Humble Beginnings. Her name is Tania. Yes, with the capital N, deriving from the African language Swahili. She embraces the name that means purpose. My town and my community and just kind of how it's laid out and stuff. It's specific information. And then I talk about like the railroad track and I kind of play with the other side of the tracks imagery. You can go ahead and take that wherever you want to. But then I talk about living near a family member, which will be important later on in the story. I talk about how my upbringing was full of smiles, good cooking, Kwanzaa celebrations, etc. She soon began to see the infamous real world the towering adults always cautioned about. Barney began to morph into the 5 o'clock news and Disney evolves into the science and history channels. So this is going to be very important because the 5 o'clock news outlines something that I talk about in the next paragraph, and then the science and history channels kind of talks about something that I'm going to talk about in the 3rd paragraph. You see how I left that first paragraph off with the 5 o'clock news and the science and history channel, leaving that in the reader's mind that she's going to talk about something that is like a real world incident that might happen on the news that happened to her. And then the next one is going to be more about how she embraced science and the STEM life that she is going to pursue later. Volume 2, Issue 1, Window of Opportunity. So incidents on the news became more than just stories on a screen. Talk about near our houses, something that happened, and then near our houses, something else that happened. And then contrary to her naive beliefs, she wasn't even safe in her own home. Then I talk about an incident that happened. The important part of this paragraph is, however, what they didn't know is that they gifted her a greater reason to succeed. It made her see that nothing is ever guaranteed, and she made the decision not to just receive her lemons of life, but to earn and pick them from the tree of opportunity whenever and wherever it was planted in front of her. So that ends the second paragraph, or second body paragraph. and it just really puts into context a lot of things. Volume 3, Issue 4, Endeavor. I put Issue 3, Issue 1, and Issue 4 for 3.14. Nerd. On this journey, she became bilingual. Tania found fluency and found her voice in the lovely language of STEM. And the thought of being able to attend a kids program for engineering excited her. There, feeling the crunch of frozen flowers and tasting the frigidness of flavorful ice cream using liquid nitrogen lit up her eyes, while raising her hand to hypothesize that it was the texture of Mentos candy that caused a Diet Coke explosion lit up her mind. This theme carried throughout her years and motivated her want for education and creation for herself and for others. And then I talk about some of my aspirations for sustainability and efficiency. While educating herself as much as possible, she strove to be a resource to provide education to students like her in similar situations where she came from. Education, a segue into creation. And then I put to be continued ... My skin may not be blue. I don't spontaneously catch fire. I don't read minds. Nonetheless, I have my unwarranted power of burning out lights. Yet, I will do just the opposite, igniting the lights in the minds of people, my community, and the world, encouraging a brighter future for all. And the last line is, what those villains took away from me won't hold me back, because I know I have so much to give. Again, the comment application just opened today, August 1st, when I'm filming this. I don't know when this will be uploaded. Thank you for watching, and always leave your comments down below on videos you might want me to make, along with just other comments that you have. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and enjoy the ride. Bye.